Hello guys, Spano here. So today I'm going to be discussing about the rework characters, and we're going to talk about who literally got the better glow up in the upcoming, patch, 3.4 patch. So even though all of them received really good changes and made them better, but we had to find out who really got the best treatment. So let's look into it. This is my opinion, so you don't have to take it with the, don't need to take it to the heart. And then it's just my experience, looking around everything and coming up. So you might also hear some background rain noises. It's just monsoon season here, so I can't do much about it. So yeah. So I'm going to be not ranking. It's more like, I'm going to go from the worst to the best glow up. So at 4, we have to go with Jingliu. Let's just be honest. I think Jingliu probably received the most changes. And I think she's also probably going to be... Okay, it's not going to be the worst character. I think she's more like the most expensive rework here because her team is super expensive. So for those who don't know what she's going to be reworked into, she's going to be a HP scaling DPS. That's going to have infinite syzygy or infinite, skill uptime, enhanced skill uptime if you have the premium team offer. And her premium team will contain Sunday, Tribi, and Hayaya with her signature, Hyacinth with her signature. So if you don't have Hyacinth with signature, you're not going to have 100% uptime. If you don't have Sunday, you're not going to have 100% uptime. You could change Sunday with RMC, but it's not going to be 100% uptime. Unfortunately, it's going to be pretty close, but it's not going to be 100%, as I know. And the only problem is, the problem is, you can already see her team is really, really expensive, first thing. Second, now because she's HP scaling, you kind of have to refarm the rope, I think. Yeah, the rope, because you were using attack rope. Now you need to get a HP orb to replace it. And you also need to remember this. Her signature is garbage on her now. I think her best signature is now Maide's signature. So even her signature is kind of useless on her. That just shows they literally changed the whole character's kit and the whole character what she was. But now she is better. But you just need more investment. That's the only problem. You need more investment for her to work in the highest, end game shenanigans. And in my opinion, yes, on release she will feel a lot better, especially with the MOC buffs and even the APOC or the endgame buffs being a little bit more favorable. But without the premium team, she will struggle. So I do think she got the worst end of the straw, unfortunately. But if you're a Jingliu main, you should still be rejoicing. I think it's still a good change. The HP, changes kind of sucks, but at least she's usable now. At least she can 2 or 1 cycle now rather than 7 cycling like old Jingliu. So I think it's still a better buff. Now the next one is kind of hard for me to choose, but I'm gonna go with Blade. No, don't worry, okay, this was pretty hard for me to choose. The main reason I choose Blade here is mainly because I am not sure if Blade's gonna receive a buff in the future, and I still think Blade's team is slightly more expensive compared to Kafka's team, and it's just a personal opinion. I think Blade got a really good cake change, so they did make him a full HP scaling unit rather than having split scaling slight attack, slight HP. They just made him HP scaling and gave him better multipliers. Also, they also gave him literally Maide's talent with the literally tuned it down. So they literally give him the freaking HP losing mechanism like Maide, so he can literally lose HP. And he does more damage. The only problem was, at least on V0 or V1, they didn't consider the healing part, so the only way he's going to do damage was with him losing the health, and the healing part didn't give him more damage. But they did fix it on the V5 patch. Really good job from them. So now your Blade does more damage, not just because he's going to take more damage. Even when you're healing him, he's technically getting this lost HP tally, and he's stacking this up, and he's gonna also do more damage. Plus, I presume he has the best E1 out of all these 4 buffed or rework units, I think. And I could be... Okay, actually he does. He has the best E1. I think Silver's E2 is the best, but for E1, yeah, Blade has the best E1 for all the rework characters. So And you literally don't even need to pull on him because I think he's now in the freaking 50-50 loss pool. So if you lose 50-50 to Blade, you don't need to be pissed because he's actually pretty solid. And for his team, it's going to be the freaking wheelchair team, I guess, with Tribi, Hayaya, and probably you can use RMC or Sunday. You can choose whoever you want, whoever you like. I think Blade is slightly more versatile than someone like Jingliu because you don't need to hurry about this 100% uptime. Of course, you know, you will still get affected with your follow-up attack because having more follow-up attack means more healing. More healing means you can do more damage with your enhanced freaking, you know, basic attack and ulti. Also, he also has a freaking whopping 1000 aggro when he uses his freaking skill. So that's like a freaking Clara ult. So that change is also really good. Like him having over 1000, you know, 1000 aggro is kind of ironic in my opinion, and I think it's like a really good change. So 1000 aggro Blade. Maybe sustainless Blade is a dream, or maybe it's impossible now. Maybe it's plausible, you know, who knows, who knows. Maybe it's possible to do a freaking sustainless Blade now. He has over 1000. I think I think the enemy will still miss you, but because of 1000 aggro, I think most of the AoE slash, you know, blast attack should hit him. And most of the single target too. I think it's gonna be really, really close. So I think it's kind of funny. He has 1000 aggro now. It went from freaking 200 to 1000, and I think it's like pretty cool. And now I think the second best upgrade probably God, I think is Kafka. Oh, also for Blade, I think the future buff wise, I think the only character that can maybe buff him in the future is someone like Sirydra or maybe March 7. So yes, Blade and Jingliu could get future, you know, buffs, but for at least for Blade, I think Sirydra slash March 7th could be the best. But I'm not 100% sure because their kid's not at, you know, 100% out, or so I don't have the, you know, best idea on it. But they have a pretty good chance of being really good with Blade, hopefully. And now let's talk about Kafka and Kafka changes. Did I wish Kafka had a change? Yes. Did I wish, you know, all of her kit to change? No. To be honest, the only thing I wish she changed was her ult because it was only triggering Electro for some reason, Electro dot. But they reworked most of her things, and I think it was really good. And I also think they changed her kit to favor an upcoming character too because of what they did. So essentially what they did was they made her skill trigger all the 3 enemies, you know, the DOT. Rather than just the main target, it triggers all the 3 enemies that hit, and they will, you know, also trigger the DOT on them. Her follow-up also triggers DOT rather than just applying, you know, shock. She also applies the shock and also triggers the DOT. Really good. Especially with Black Swan, she can also stack the freaking Arcana super fast. On top of it, they also made her ult able to trigger every single dot rather than just, you know, shock. Great change. I think that the ult change was the one I wanted the most because only triggering freaking DOT was dumb because there was no other good, you know, shock appliers besides Serval. And let's just be honest, Serval plus Kafka was not that good. So I was pretty mad, but then now they made it where she can trigger every single dot. That was really good. Again, with Black Swan slash Kafka is really good. And the main reason I put the, you know, Kafka's Rework second, they literally made her from a DPS, you know, dot DPS to literally a support DPS, support dot DPS. I think this was one of the better changes. Like literally they changed this really well. And I'm super happy they did this change. Mainly because now she, even if she gets, you know, even her teammates get power creep, she's now like a support. So you can always rely on a strong DPS carry to come and, you know, she will still be viable. It's not like she's not going to be viable. She's going to be super strong with freaking Black Swan for the next patch and a patch and a half. But the best thing is Hisland's also dropping in 3.5, right? Yeah, 3.5. Hisland's going to drop in the first half. Kafka automatically getting a freaking buff. On top of, I think currently in these reworks, she probably has the cheapest team because you literally have a Ruame for free from the anniversary patch, and you just slap in a Gallagher if you don't have a Huo, and you just give her a freaking Black Swan, and that's it. She's gonna work, and she's gonna work really, really well. And if you don't have a Black Swan, you can always give Sampo. I think it's pretty solid as well. But overall, I think she probably has a cheap, unless you hate freaking Dot archetype. I think she probably got a pretty solid glow up in my book. And I'm super happy for that. Super, super, super happy it happened. And of course, like I said, Hisland's will be her biggest buff. for the moment, because for some reason, Honkai Star Rail only drops one dot character per year, so you better get your Hesselens and Kafka together, otherwise, you're probably gonna be, your Kafka is gonna be homeless another whole year, probably. So, yeah. Now, let's talk about the best character that got the rework. The one and only freaking Silverwolf. I mean, do I even have to talk? This character just went from... Okay, let's just be honest. I think Silverwolf had a really good kid. It's just her being a freaking single target was just straight up garbage. But now she's arguably one of the best units. One of the best, not the best, one of the best, team characters, mainly because of her versatility. All they changed on her kit was they made her alt AoE. She can apply the weakness of the first ally on your team, and I think her elemental rest went slightly high. I think they increased the rest by 2 or 3%. And that's all they did on V1, and even till V5 they did not change anything. And I could see that. Why? Because she's literally busted. She's busted, she's really good. I think they did make the bugs a little bit stronger, but that's all they did. And I think she received the best. And for good reason, I think. And the crazy part is she's so good, she literally does better than a latest freaking, what's her name? Cypher. Yeah, Cypher. She does so much better than Cypher in what Cypher wanted to do. By the way, she does pretty decent damage too. It's not like she doesn't do damage. Silverwolf does decent amount of damage on top of adding the debuffs and increase her overall team by a lot. I don't think she does the same damage as Cypher, but still she does a really, really good job at increasing your team's overall performance, in my opinion. Easily got the best rework and kind of deserved, my opinion, because let's just be honest, a lot of people tried to get an E2 Silverwolf and she dropped first, and I think E2 Silverwolf is like really, really strong. So for those E2 Silverwolf mains, rejoice. I think even on E2 what's her name, Akron, I think Silverwolf is kind of better. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think for Kafka, why am I saying Kafka? For Akron, I think Jiaochu is still better, I think, but it's going to be really close now because of how good Silverwolf is. So in my opinion, she probably got the best glow up on these rework characters, and I'm super happy because I own all 4 of these units, by the way. I own all of them, and the only character I even used recently is Blade, and that's only on Divergent Universe. Like literally, Blade is the only character I use, and it's on Divergent Universe, and that's it. On the other units, I don't use them at all, and I'm super happy they're all getting buffed. And yeah, this is my opinion on these rework units. I'm 90% sure there's not going to be another V6. Even if there it is, I think it's probably going to be wording changes, so it's technically official, not official, but they're going to grow into freaking servers now. So after that, it's GG, right? It's almost confirmed, unless they do a last minute nerf. It's probably confirmed. And I think the only time I heard them doing last minute nerfs was like back in Jingliu Lycon or something like that. So I don't think they're going to do a last minute change at all for these units. So hopefully they're going to be like this. And yep. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm kind of tired. I don't know why. It's probably because of the stupid weather, but yeah. Enjoy this video and I hope it helps. In my opinion, by the way, this is all my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own choice. I think everything went good. Maybe Honkai Star Rail will get better from 3.4. At least they're trying to balance the game slightly. So maybe the game is actually going in a good direction, hopefully. And yeah, see you guys on another video. Bye guys. Stay safe out there.